AGAPE. Malaga interviews. July 14, 2019. In the heart of the instant, in the heart of your presence, I invite you to hear, beyond my words, the silence and the word/verb, which comes into you, and which comes from you, so that you meet yourself in what you are beyond the form, beyond what passes, where you recognize yourself, where you find yourself in the heart of the instant, in the instant of your presence. Where you are, I am, beyond being, beyond form, where the light itself has taken its source and momentum, so that never, whatever your garments, flesh and light, can be forgotten, can be lost. Then you're invited, at this moment, to the kingdom of grace, which is no longer only a dwelling place, nor even any habit, but the unspeakable of love, where there is no time, where spaces merge, where everything is one, where you can only be satisfied, from the instant you accept it, from the instant everything you can believe, everything you can hope for, like everything you fear, cannot appear, nor can it be maintained in any way. Where nothing happens, where you are, in truth, beyond all clothes, all thoughts, as well as all perceptions. Where you're whole, where you need nothing, except to accept the evidence that goes through you. Where words no longer make sense, where you're overwhelmed, where nothing can be missing or even forgotten. I invite you to the lightness, to the joy that happens in everything, for truly what you are, beyond the form, as beyond any world, is what you have always been, beyond what you have passed, beyond what your senses give you to feel or perceive, where you are complete, where you are everyone, as you are each world. Where you're all consciousness, where everything is one, and yet there is no one, there is naked joy, without object and subject, without vision and without vibration. Where any notion of belonging can only be erased and transcended by the truth that does not depend on any conscience, any movement, any change. Where time does not flow, where you are space, where everything is true, where you are everyone, in any form or world. Where you are free and whole, where you find yourself, from the moment you accept it. Then the evidence of who you will fill your form and your life, so that you can never again be seduced by what passes, and what moves. Where there is no one, if not the intensity of impersonal love. Where nothing can be distinguished, and yet everything is understood, from the moment you experience it, from the moment you accept it, you have invited yourself to wake up from every idea, every thought and every story that is just passing through. Where you will never pass, where there is no birth, no death, no form, but simply the evidence that no word can describe, that no vision can approach, and yet, where nothing can be lacking, and yet, where nothing can be lacking, nothing can be asked for, nothing can be doubted. You are every world, every form and every dream, because all this is the dream of creation, the dream of form and the dream of perception. Where the fire of the sacred heart emanates from your heart and reaches your heart, without movement and without time, where nothing can be judged or even weighed. Where joy passes through the opacity of this dense body, like the dark light of what you call consciousness. Where there is only one, where nothing is divided, where nothing is distant, where time has never been present. This is your truth that you can only life, but you cannot grasp it, where doubt no longer finds the slightest gap. In this, you are the evidence of the love that you are, manifesting yourself in the first dream, as in the ultimate dream of creation and consciousness. Where everything is you and nothing is yours. This is your eternal I, the absolute I who lived in all the dreams, who played all the scores of the myth of creation. At this instant, you have invited yourself to the unspeakable truth, where you do not depend on any condition, where the limit cannot exist, nor can it appear. You are invited to the dance of silence, to the permanent rejoicing, where everything has already been dreamed, or nothing in your life can limit life. In the absolute truth of being and non-being, you stand without holding anything, without asking anything, without expecting anything. This is the perfection of what could not be dreamed of, where the Alpha is the Omega, and the Omega the Alpha. This is your natural and spontaneous state. Then I invite you to the fire of joy, to the radiance of your sacred heart, which puts an end to all suffering, to all lack and to all questioning. That is you always have been, whatever the path of the dream in which you have participated. The time has come to request to freedom, where you were born in the first dream, where you promised yourself to remember that you are above all dream and form, and that you have been all dreams, as well as all forms in all worlds. There is peace and the only truth that has never disappeared, whatever the appearances, whatever you say or think about it, where silence reveals itself, and the fire of the sacred heart at the center of this body of flesh, pulsates and dances, beyond any dream and any identity. I invite you to embrace yourself, without limits and without conditions. I invite you to recognize yourself. I invite you to freedom, to this joy where you can only find yourself. All you have to do is to be there, really present, crossing any question or perception. So I can only tell you, in my words and in my silences, to be what you are, where no story, no density can restrict you and cannot hide you. Here, beyond my words, the word/verb of truth, which is not addressed to your story, nor even to your person, but to what you recognize in the fire of the sacred heart, of the AGAPE communion. Together, let us transcend identity, let us transcend all the senses. I am in you, as you are in me. I am you at the same intensity where you are me, where time cannot be counted, where the distance disappears in evidence of the grace of your presence and absence. Listen and hear, in between my words, what your heart tells you. He doesn't speak in words, he doesn't speak in feelings, he just talks to you about your truth. Listen and hear the evidence that is there, where everything is given, because everything is a gift of grace and a gift of love. Where light is from everywhere and yet nowhere, you are its source, you are its manifestation, in this body of dreams, in this world of suffering. Where you have never been affected, where the simplicity and foundation, the origin and end of the dream you have lived, in all forms and densities, is now, from the instant when you yourself accept to be present, and to let yourself go through, without holding anything back, without keeping anything, but giving yourself to the truth that you are. Then the fire of your heart ignites your last reticences, and there, in the eternal present, the unspeakable is lived, and there you recognize yourself, and there you are whole, and there you are true. Such is the humility and simplicity of absolute truth. You are filled with your presence and absence, in this fire that consumes only the dream, in this fire that consumes all distance, all space and all time. Then the smile on your lips is the pale reflection of what is there, in the heart of your heart, as in every cell of this dream body. Where nothing can be doubted or misunderstood, I invite you to what you have always been. Where you have no need of any body or conscience, in the Abba that you are, the Son of Man is born, in truth. That is the only truth. Then the igneous fire consumes you without burning you, where there is no longer you, me or any other person, because you are each other, the same dream that passes, in a different form and in a different history. You have written all the stories, you have walked through every body, every world and every density, because they are your creation and your dream. Time is for freedom, autonomy and accuracy. Listen and hear what this fire tells you. It speaks to you of silence, it speaks to you of joy that can never be taken away and which, on the contrary, can only give you the impression of growing every day and also every night. You are nothing of what is happening, you are nothing of what is happening, and yet you are everything that is happening and everything that is happening. Let joy blossom in your heart, it gives you back to yourself, it gives you back to the truth. Nothing can be compared to it, nothing can be discriminated against, everything is one, where the word/verb of the first dream sings its song. Anohoniskaya, Anohata Amachi, Bremiskaya, Ataunskaya, Anohataba, Noha Amachi. So is the word/verb of awakening, you who have never slept. Ataunskaya Mamakaya, Anumakaya. let yourself be loved. You are the fire of love, which is the water of grace. The blue cloak of grace is placed on your shoulders, the wings of freedom unfold. You have been all the ways, you have been all the lives, and you are the only truth. And your heart of flesh also recognizes you. And the consciousness is extinguished, illuminating in this act the consciousness that you are. You can't doubt the truth, even if it's unknown to you. Accept the gift of grace, the gift of life, accept the ineffable beauty. Accept the breath that can never dry up, where any land has been only the place of your dreams. In this, you have been, you are and you will be, at the same time and in the same space, every life, every way of the one truth. Anahara, no ho miskaya, bear miskaya. Let yourself go through, let yourself be freed, there is no one and there is everyone, every atom like every world, every particle, every atom. Listen and hear, and look, beyond all that can be seen, at the ineffable beauty of the moment, for everything has been lived there, despite appearances, despite your doubts. It is now, and it is here, without break and without detour. Accept yourself. So you know yourself, as independent of any history. Then you know yourself, you are freedom and you are the unspeakable. Your heart sings it to you, in its dance and its pulsation, there and now and immediately. Silence. Accept what is present. You have nothing to feel, just to be there. There is the right place, there is the only place of your royalty, where everything is your kingdom. In this, you are truthful. In this, you are authentic, and each of you who hears, each of you who listens, cannot ignore yourself, cannot doubt it, and the heart of the heart radiates its fire. That is the good news. There you find yourself, you have never lost yourself, you have simply played at thinking it, you have simply played the game of form, the game of identity, the game of individuality. Then you will smile on the screen of your life, of life in abundance. Listen to me, and so you hear yourself. Embrace me, and so you embrace yourself. I have always been there, me from you, where I and you cannot be separated, where you and I recognize each other. Listen and hear. Silence. You are perfection, present in every appearance. You are perfection, love without anyone, and without difference. Thus, I bless you. Thus, I give you my peace. Thus, nothing can be removed and nothing can be added. Time is silent from the radiance of evidence, and that is now, here, in the heart of your heart. Listen and hear this silence, which speaks the language of the heart, and which is the word/verb of truth. Silence. Agape, agape, agape. Silence. And your heart beats the measure in every heart. I can only say these words to you, I can only hear you and I listen to you, what your heart is telling you right now. You and I are here. You and I, we are. Silence. And in this silence, the word/verb itself increases silence. Silence. Such is the song of love, which was never born, and which has always been there, in the here of your heart, is the now of your presence. Silence. I thank you for the embrace you have given yourself by giving yourself to your truth. You are the love that loves itself. You are love in everyone, in every world, in every dream, in every conscience. It's yours, from the moment you give yourself up. So I thank you for embracing yourself, for hearing yourself. May peace, joy, love and truth be present, for you are peace, for you are love, for you are joy, and this is truth. Silence. I am with you and I'm you, from all eternity, and in all forms. Interviews of July 2019, Malaga. Published by Apotheosis Life. Through Jean-Luc Young. Les Transformations. English translation, LMF.